So tonight we've got a victim, a man in the house, and we're going to be asking him some questions. But before I do, a lot of people are like, this is weird, this is strange. Is that even possible? A man going through abuse. Is it possible for a woman to actually abuse a man? And they are wondering, I don't even understand. So before we start, and before I start asking our guest tonight some questions. Ma, I want you to take us into the mind of a female abuser, a female narcissist, because to some people they're like, oh, I can't even comprehend, right? So from your line of work, your career, your experience, what drives the behavior of a female narcissist, and how does it typically show up in relationships?
Okay. What drives the mind of the female narcissist is exactly what drives the mind of the male narcissist. It's exactly what drives the mind of the male narcissist. It's a desire to control. It's an intrinsic self-hatred that makes them lash out at people who either seem to be doing better, who seem to be more stable, who seem to be more happy. Anything positive happening around people, the narcissist is jealous of. So they start to attack, they start to demean, they start to vilify, that kind of thing. So, but for me, let me say it this way, the way I say it, female narcissists are probably worse than male narcissists. You know why? Women have a womb. Whatever we take, we cook it. We incubate it. We get a small seed, microscopic seed of a sperm. We incubate it and bring forth a full human being. So anything where women enter, they enter and reach levels where they make person fear. So what drives the female narcissist is exactly what drives the male narcissist: the need for control, the need for human compliance from everybody else. All right, the need for fuel. We don't have the time to analyze the narcissist right now. And then, how does it show up in the women? Most female narcissists are high flying. Those are the ones they call the cerebral narcissists. There are two types of narcissists. There is there's the low level narcissist, there's the middle narcissist, and then there's the cerebral narcissist. So most female narcissists are high flying. Most of them are very entrepreneurial. Even if they go to school, they have that tendency to produce, to create, and all of that. And many of them are high maintenance. They complain about everything. They correct everyone. They are vicious. Even when they're correcting, they're not nice. They're vicious. They are unforgiving. They are proud, very arrogant, And a man who is getting into a relationship with a female narcissist will be love bombed like anybody else. She will be so available, so loving, so sensitive, so aware of your needs, so willing to meet them, running around for you, and you'll be like, wow. There was a man like that I met. He got this woman. He was like, oh, she does everything. And when I tell her to sit down, she sits down. I looked at him and said, okay, she did find something. He married that woman and ended up running out of Nigeria because he left Nigeria completely, not the city where they were living or the house. He left Nigeria. His life was at stake. So it shows up in the woman in many ways. What basically is about the same malevolence, the same lack of empathy, the same lack of compassion, the same lack of patience, the same demand that you do everything they say when they say it. And when you fall into the hands of a narcissist, honestly, it does not respect gender. Nobody can encounter narcissism and remain the same, whether they are male or female. You encounter the narcissist, you come away wounded, burned, broken. So it's not a gender thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting tonight.
Yeah.
So you see, there's this notion while we're growing up, when we tell our boys, why are you crying? Don't you know that big boys don't cry? So you have your 5-year-old boy and your maybe 4-year-old or 6-year-old daughter, and both of them are playing, and both of them fall down, hurt their leg. and the girl comes crying to you and say, "Oh, my princess, sorry, sorry, sorry." And then the boy comes crying to you and they say, "Why? What's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Don't you know you're a boy? Don't cry." So it looks as if from while children are growing up at a young age, we tell the man your emotions don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You are not allowed to feel sad. You are not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to cry. You know, you say men don't cry. Real men don't cry. I've heard this somewhere before. I remember interviewing my 80 something year old dad from years ago, and I asked him this question. He said, "Who said that? That is nonsense." And he was telling me about the times that he has cried and, and things like that. So, but people don't understand. People think that when they see a man, that man doesn't have emotions, right? And it even shows in sometimes the way parents you talk to your male staff, male people. I was like, he's also a human being. He's also so. I want you to quickly tell us, and I'm going to start asking our guest. I can see our guest is in the house tonight, and we're so grateful for him joining us tonight. And we are going to keep him anonymous. That's why you can't say him, but he's going to be sharing with us tonight. But can you help us understand what happens internally when a man lives under consistent emotional and psychological abuse? What is going on inside the head of the man? How does it? How does man, cope with it?
You know what? The first thing I would say is we have to start changing these narratives. Honestly, I always say it. If God didn't mean for men to cry, men will not have tears. If God didn't design men to cry, they won't have tears. God doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste anything. Man is as emotional as woman. It's conditioning that makes men to hold back all their emotions from the time they're small. And stop crying there like a woman. Who told you there's only women that cry? Is it only women that feel pain? Is the only women that feel pain? The only difference is that us women, once we feel small pain, we start crying. Tears will be flowing. But men, they have been told, you can't cry. If you cry, you are weak. If you cry, you are soft. If you cry, you are a weakling. If you cry like you are a woman, we must change those narratives. We must give men the freedom, the liberty, the permission to feel
human being,
to be human. Let me give you an example of how these things even show up in adulthood. They tell the man, you have to be strong, you have to be tough, you have to know everything, you are the leader, you are the no room for being so. A man can be going somewhere with his wife. He has lost his way. The wife is telling him, sweetheart, let's go like this. No, I know what I'm doing. No, I know what I'm doing. Until they get to the end of the road and it's blocked. And he will not say, oh, sorry. He will tell, this road, he will just turn his car and start going. That act of, if the wife said to him, can we ask somebody? No, I know what I'm doing. He feels that asking somebody means he's weak.
So it's the pressure.
Is the pressure
that we have to demand.
Is the pressure. So when a man is in an environment where he's being psychologically abused, where he's being verbally abused, where he's even physically abused, because of the perception outside, he begins to see himself as inadequate. He begins to see himself as not enough. He begins to see himself as a failure. He'll begin to feel shame because he's worried that people outside may know what is happening to him now. And then shame by him. And what does shame do? Shame cripples. Shame cripples physical capacities. Shame cripples mental capacities. Shame cripples emotions. Shame cripples the psyche. Now, when somebody is crippled like that, how can his productivity be anything to write home about? Productivity would grind to a halt or be minimal. Emotions will be locked down. So somebody is bottling and bottling and bottling. Guess what? This is partly why more men have stroke than women. This is probably one of the major reasons why more men have stroke than women. Because
and slumping and dying. I've heard that so many times.
Yes, yes. So and the man is bottling and bottling and bottling. There's no outlet. If he tells other men will laugh at him. Even the men have to be re-educated. What is wrong with a man putting his head on another man's shoulder and crying because he's in pain?
Exactly.
What is wrong with that? That's humanity. That is our humanity. So the man also becomes an insomniac, no sleep. He can't sleep because every day he's worrying about what is coming next. What is she coming to say next? How will she scream next? What will she call me next? What will she do next? There was one movie that trended one time in Nigeria many years ago. It was called August Meeting. August Meeting. I don't think you watched that video of that movie. August Meeting was a movie that was centered around women who harassed their husbands so bad for rapper to go for August Meeting in the village for shoe, for bag, for money that the husbands didn't have. You know what the men were doing? The houses they built, they could not stay in them. They would tiptoe home around 2 a.m. when they're sure she has slept, sleep in the sitting room, run into the children's bathroom to bathe around 4 a.m. By 5:30, they have run out of the house with their briefcase. It's their house, but they no longer had peace. So all of those things will play. The man will feel less of himself. His productivity will drop. Insomnia, mental and emotional and physical diseases can come from being in a state of constant anxiety. Constant anxiety. That's where the man lives. And many men just want peace, especially when they come home. And if you are with a narcissist wife or an abusive wife, home is not a place of peace. So you find men who go to the beer parlor and sit there till 4 a.m. The barman has to say, we are closing, no, please, you have to go. Some of them will go, but they will sleep in the car. They will leave sleep in the car. So a lot of things go on with the man. The same way a woman who is being abused falls apart is the same way a man who is being abused falls apart. Why? We are one and the same. Was the woman not pulled out of the man? For everything she is, emotional more. Perhaps even more. They took of him to make you. So whatever you feel, the man feels it. But like I said again, it's conditioning that makes the man hide the pain he feels.
Wow.
It's conditioning.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ma. I know, like I said, we want to hear tonight from our guest, Survival. And sir, right? I just want to thank you so much, for the courage in being here tonight. I know it takes a lot. The society has boxed the male gender, but by the grace of God, we are breaking the silence and we are going to, keep educating so that men can actually have the freedom to be human beings. So I want to just, start by saying, can you share with us tonight a bit of your story, what the relationship looked like at first, and when did you actually realize that you are being abused in that relationship, sir? Yes, we can. But maybe if we can turn up the volume a little bit.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, being here is not quite an easy task, but then I'm here today. I would like to also say.
Yeah, can you just show him some love in the comment section? Let's just show him some love in the comment section.
Beginning to get back some memories of the past, and I see that most of what you're talking about is exactly what it is. It has to do with control, like Reverend said. It has to do with control, want to be in control. So it could be either the female or the male. But let me come down to myself. With the relationship started like every relationship, very good, loving. It was so nice. We all talked about nice couple, nice relationship. And gradually, I didn't even notice it. I didn't see it because it's difficult for a man to notice when he's being abused. You take it like a father and a daughter affair. You try to see how to help your partner. That is the way it starts. You try to see how to help your partner. Even when you see this is this way, you feel you can endure. You feel it will get better. You feel it could change. You need to be there for the person. And while you're being abused gradually until it becomes so severe. So like I said, the relationship started well, lived well, spent some time together, went to church together, had kids, and so on. But it had to do with control. You wanting to let it be what you see that happens in the house, and you want to be. It has to be forceful. It just has to be this or nothing. So that leads to physical abuse. It starts with talks, emotional, and then suggestions, and it has to be the way I say it. And then when it's not that way, you get angry, and then you become physical. So I think I'll throw more light as you ask the question, because I mean, it's my first time doing this, and while I was in the relationship, I couldn't talk to anyone because it wasn't just because of somebody feeling that I'm weak. It was more of you protecting your family. You protecting your family. You don't want to embarrass your partner or let people know. The man always wants to keep his home. So you tend to hide some of these things going on, and you don't feel it to get better.
You know, he said something that struck me. He said at the beginning, it was nice. Then when you started noticing, you said, let me help my spouse. It will get better. It will change. This is exactly the sentiment of the female in an abusive relationship. It's me when he was saying it. That's exactly what we say when we're being abused. He will get better. He will change. Let me stand by my man. Let me support him. So, like I said earlier, as we are, so are the men. You can see the same emotions playing here. And that's powerful. And then he said that as he's remembering now, maybe he's having panic attack or anxiety attack, or trauma is coming back as he's thinking about some of the things he has experienced. Hear him say, I've not done this before. But it's okay, sir. I really commend you for the courage to come out here. But you don't know what your participation today will do. You don't know the deliverance you will bring to thousands of people to your sir. You have given voice to many voiceless men.
You know why you think of helping your partner, because in the course of the relationship you get to see the background. Some of this abuse comes from, maybe that's you, but the background, if your spouse comes from an abusive home, so there's a tendency that she wants to fight the father or the mother's fight in her own home. For instance, if you're watching TV, and for instance, she remembers that at home, when she was growing up, the mom took the remote control and the dad did something. Once you pick up the remote control, she begins to react. Even when there is no issue. So I think some of these things come from growing up background, the things they see. It leads to them trying to defend themselves so they don't get into similar situations and thereby become
excessive,
abusive. While it's in my relationship, after much of the abuse, you see your partner coming back after some time and say, oh, I'm sorry, and, trying to explain things again, and you want to see how to help the person to be a better person. But sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know if it will. I don't know if I still love it. I can't tell, but it didn't work. So in some of the abuse, you can imagine a woman giving a man a knock on the head.
Oh my God.
Something you see with kids. It's not for adults. So there's so many of the experiences I mean, it's not one.
Can you share some of those experiences with us?
The thing about it is you can't really tell anyone, because you don't even know. I think it's difficult for men to tell stories or to narrate how things exactly happen. But the female gender is quick to remember things and to say it. And one other thing I see with the abusive issue is that what you can't really say is before you even get to reports, she's already there. Right? So you don't even have an opportunity. You don't have an opportunity to see what has happened. Because the society has seen it that whether the female or the weaker person, I don't know how to explain, but it's like someone going to the police station. First person to get to police station to be the right person. I don't know what it is. So before you make your reports, I'm saying it because there were times we tried to get the church and other places, and then by the time, if you hear me first, you want to consider. By the time you hear, I begin to look like
a devil.
Bad one. So it's difficult to even explain yourself. So, and the more you explain yourself, you're embarrassing your family. That's what it seems. But I mean, you guys are the coach. You're able to tell us more. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you again. We just have to keep saying thank you for your courage. Thank you for doing this. Like Reverend Christy said, is about the many, many, many millions of men who are experiencing abuse and they don't even know what to do. They are stuck, and some of them have even lost their lives. Some of them are dealing with diseases and sicknesses. So it's about actually saving lives. But as we just continue tonight, I would, if you don't mind, also don't want you to whatever you're not comfortable in sharing is fine, because we don't want you to get too triggered. But if you don't mind, can you share with us, because you just said this person gives you a knock, as in how does that even happen? So tell us about some of the types of abuse you experience, the physical, the instances, and things like that. Again, just to shed more light to this topic tonight.
Okay. In an argument so conversation leads to an argument, and before you know, you've gotten a slap.
Wow.
It's not that if you want to react, you could probably kill your partner with your own hands. You don't want to be obviously stronger than the partner, but because of maybe the discipline or what you want to achieve, you don't want to. Because I also know that people that abuse me are quick to report abuse against themselves, and so you're being careful. Yeah. So you might be arguing and then you just get a slap. I've been driving and my partner pulls the steering for me. He's dragging the steering for me, so causing sin on the road. So what do you do in such a situation? It just hurts. People are watching you. You don't even know. People will not even believe that it's your partner doing this. They think it's you are the one, because the society looks at it as the man is always the one abusing the woman. Yeah. At one point in time, I got all of my phones thrown into a bucket of water, and then put on my phones all through the night. And I could actually struggle and get those things out of, and then we'll fight. But because I know who I'm dealing with, I just relax. Wow. And by the morning, you see your partner pleading. She wakes you up. I'm sorry. And then both things are destroyed completely. You can't even recover them because they stayed over 3-4 hours in the water. So you lose everything and you start afresh. And the same people that the abusers, if that's right one, have a lot of strength. My partner can fight with you from 9 till 4 a.m. and she could get up by 5 and go to work. You are completely exhausted the whole day. Wow. You can't even understand yourself. So it's really pathetic, when you cannot react. And you're so much. You really want to react, but because you've not reacted before and you've been reported on this matter, you're holding yourself so there won't be any reason, there won't be anything, because it will be turned around. You slap me first, so you can take 3 slaps before you won't do anything. There are situations where I am pleading and begging. There are situations I have to jump over the balcony and get out of my house, because
you jump over the balcony upstairs.
I can't deal with it. Yeah, I climb down. Is it that I can't deal with the matter? I can, but it would be rough. It would be physical. I don't want it to be like, And we had kids, and watching. Somebody would have said that, but definitely they would always start. So
don't say it. Yeah.
What the kids see, and then they tend to say certain things. So I had to keep my cool, so it doesn't affect the kids and it doesn't change the family. But my greatest regret is, after being cool for all this number of years, I still could not recover my family. So what was the use? If all of this had happened and then I could recover my family, that would have been very good, but then it didn't work. So I wouldn't. I'm not saying this for men to stay and continue to stay. I think you should seek help. Because the abuse will be physical, by words, physical, and destruction of your your properties, like I said, my phone, and all the rest. So you want to stay cool. When you see your partner, especially in public, you try to, maintain so you don't create a scene, a scenario. So my neighbors all knew all of this. In fact, on one of the occasions, my neighbor said he wanted to see me, and then he drove me somewhere with somebody, and decided the person was trying to like coach me on what to, because they saw it, and I don't know how they got to see it. Oh no, they saw it one of the days I ran out of the house, so that's it. They saw. I think they've seen it, so I don't know. Let me let you talk for a while.
I remember you mentioning an experience with hot water. Do you mind sharing that? Yeah.
That was how do I do this now? I don't want to cause something that will bother my partner in the past. I want to relationships the way it is because we have kids and so on. But I was to do that, and it was a good one morning, and then just a little thing triggered this. It wasn't something serious. I was asking for something that she got. Why are you asking me? And I don't know whether you sleep up and wake up. I don't know. There might be a whole lot on her mind, and then that was just a little trigger. And then I saw the hot water boiled, so I knew something make down. So I went to stand in the I left the room, sat down in the parlor, and I waited for a while, and then everyone was calm. So as I got into the bathroom, they poured out hot water, but luckily I thought it only spilled on part of my body, and then we had to until from like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Wow. So I was trying to be protective. I'm trying to be nice and all the things, And I'd already had that feeling that something was going to go wrong. So the doors were all locked. Where is the key? I can't find them. So I had to manage the situation. And after it, you see your partner again saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what got off me and not rest." I had the bruise, the hot bruises.
The blisters.
Yeah, the blisters. The following day, because I was trying to be very. I didn't even sleep all through the night because half awake, half.
Yeah, because
I didn't know what next. And sometimes those relationships being together went different ways. And one of the nights, I just woke up and saw my partner sitting next to me, panting seriously, all the body shaking and all the rest. So I had to start begging. So what's the matter? Isn't it okay? Oh, sorry. I had to start talking, because it's late and I see 2, 3 a.m. and all the rest. So it's not an experience I wish for anyone, but then it's the past now. I think we've both more matured with this situation. So I don't know. I just don't want to reveal so much.
I know.
Yeah.
The fact that you are talking, see, there's another man that has been typing since you were talking. He's saying that the day he will share his story, the whole world will stand still.
Yeah.
He's saying that his own partner will finish doing him and then go and put on gospel music and start dancing.
Wow.
Somebody has just said now that her mother poured urine mixed with pepper on her dad, and that she has never been able to forget. Wow.
I've had my being in the house and have my clothes almost taken off in front of the house helps and so on.
Oh God.
And there are certain things because what happens is that there's so much about the men abusing the women. So one slap to your partner can be talked about
for 10 years,
5 years, 6 years, 10 years. And so we are being careful not to do that. So that wouldn't be the case because even when you're not you know. And what I'd like to talk about, most people go to church to seek help. I don't know if the church is well equipped. But I
That's
don't
what
know.
we talked about yesterday.
I wouldn't say the church people that handle some are, I don't know if they're well equipped or I don't know how to explain it, because when you go and then your partner is saying all sorts of things, you don't even know what she's saying. Sometimes, you can't even remember what happened there. You might remember when the whole session is finished 2 days after, and I remember, oh, this wasn't what happened. I don't know.
The trauma will make you forget. Trauma will make you forget. Then gaslighting will make you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Sir, we had a session yesterday. With Jola, and we were talking about how the church needs to become better equipped to handle abuse. How people need to be specifically trained to recognize who the abuser is. Because sometimes the abused gets blamed. The abused takes the brunt of the madness. Now, some people
blamed also.
Yes, I know. I wanted to ask you something when you were talking just now. That question has just run away from my head. But when you were talking, you were saying that you will sleep with one eye open and one eye closed. How did that affect your productivity, your work, your businesses? What did that do to you?
It of course it would affect my productivity, but I think there's a way. Maybe men or me, we manage this kind of things. Once you're out of the house, you forget about it until you come back home. So when you talk about trauma, when I'm out of the house, I forget about it.
So you compartmentalize. You just compartmentalize your life. Yeah.
Wow. But productivity is sure, because if I'm awake till 4, 5 a.m. and one thing or that, I didn't rest. I didn't prepare for that. Probably my partner was prepared. Maybe all of our bodies prepared to stay 3, 4 hours and then to work. I didn't prepare. That was coming my way, so I didn't prepare. It's like getting prepared for it. Obviously, it's going to affect you. So by the morning, I'm already exhausted, tired. Maybe because I've been through this for a while, I forget about it once I got. It may not be good for it.
So let me ask you, sir. Let me ask you. These fights that will last till 4 a.m. from 10 p.m., what were the fights about? What was the big deal? Do you understand? Because if they were happening many times, what is the Yoruba people say, killing me too bad. What was so heavy that we fight for 7 hours?
Nothing.
Nothing.
When you go for counseling, I can tell you, I don't even see what the matter is. You can't even figure out what the matter is. But like I said to you, it is for my own. I think it was something baggage coming from another place into the house. It was a fight, like fight when you were.
Okay.
So you have to fight.
So it wasn't you.
It was being maybe family or whatever where you leave people. The abuse was much of the female, so you stand firm before anything starts. You start first. So the person doesn't think about it.
So, this is really interesting, because it's one of the things that we've been talking about the month of October as domestic violence awareness. And we're talking about people healing, right? Because there's a saying that says, if you don't heal from what hurts you, you will bleed on the people who didn't cut you, right? And we want to be eliciting lessons and helping people also become aware, right? Because sometimes we think that, I've gone through this thing, I'm fine, everything is okay. But now you get into other relationships and you are taking that pain and that trauma out on the people who have not done anything to you. But the question I want to ask you, right, is in 2 parts. I'll ask it in 2 parts. How do you think this affected or has affected your children? And then when you try to seek help, right? Maybe you try to speak to the church, people in church, or other family members, or anything. Was there any time you tried to say, "Oh, I want to talk about this is what's happened. This is what my wife did," or maybe our own family or the church or something? What kind of response did you get?
I didn't talk about. I didn't get that. I only talked about when my partner reported issues either to the counselor or to the
So
church.
you never actually reported it to anybody?
No. I didn't report it. I felt I could handle it myself. I didn't, except when I'd come for counseling, and then the problem is you don't know how to put your stories for me together. Like as I'm telling you, I didn't give you all the details. I just told you should scrap or something, but for the females, you'll be able to tell you, we got down from the car at 5:30 a.m. or 5 p.m. and then she didn't bang the door properly or he didn't lock it. There was things that. So when you're unable to narrate or express yourself freely, you really can't make that report. And then with like I said to you, for me, it wasn't feeling ashamed. It was more protecting my family. It was more of protecting my family. I mean, every other person has their issues. Why should I be outside? And I was trying to help my partner because I knew she had this issue. So exposing her may not. That was my thought. I would not help her. It would make her feel you didn't keep my secrets. You didn't keep my pains. So that was the way I looked at it. Maybe I was naive then. Young and all the rest, So that is it. And the way it has affected me after that is I practically don't have a proper relationship anymore when it comes to I really don't want to get to anybody messing up with my peace. So I just don't do. I don't really have any strength.
So it's almost like you are doomed to be alone, or what, for the rest of your life?
I've said to myself when I get to 70, maybe I do like
Christy, I want to ask you a question, right, from the professional angle, because I'm happy that he's gone here, because this is part of the things I wanted to talk about. Why do men in particular, because this is something that I have personally seen in my line of work and experientially, that men who often experience abuse, they struggle to heal, they struggle to move on, or even remarry, right? They just feel that I don't know what they feel. I don't know what's going on in their head, but maybe our brother will tell us. But you, from the professional angle, why do men in particular actually struggle to heal, move on, and get into healthy relationships again?
Because there's no help available. See what our brother is saying. He didn't talk to anybody. He sat with this pain for years. And whereas the woman's own is mostly shame when she doesn't speak, shame and fear, the man's own is, I need to protect my family.
It's a sense of responsibility.
Yes, I don't want to disgrace my family. I don't want to put my family member out there. So now, a man that marries, in Africa, the man is the king of his home. Where I am king, I don't have voice. I don't have right. Until maybe I have lost the relationship. Why do I want to put myself in that situation again? Do I know what carry that will be worse than that one? Who will I cry to? Everybody will say, so the first relationship didn't work. And now you say the second one is not working. You are the problem. The problem. So it is very scary. And men find it difficult to show fear. They are afraid, but they will do that to again. They have been told that's how a man is supposed to be. So he's not showing the fear, but he's scared. What if I go and marry another person now? And she'll come and be shouting at me, or she'll come and use mortar and pestle on me, or maybe she will just come and be pushing me around. So it's hard because you feel that you are the tough one, the strong one, the macho one. But here's a slip of a woman making you afraid in your own house. There's a human being that is much smaller than you that you can swat with one hand and she will break. But she's tying you in your own house. It is difficult for a man to say, I will go and carry another wife and marry you. Most men will just stay like that. In fact, they are not Christians, then they're just going to be having girlfriend, sleeping around and satisfying the sexual urge without the commitment. So it's difficult. And then, Jola, there are not many people who are trained to help abused men. We have people trained to help abused women. We have many organizations advocating for abused women. We have shelters built for abused women. But I don't know many people who have been trained to help a man who has been abused, who is in trouble because of abuse. These are some of the reasons that the men hardly seem to move on. And if they marry, they will have such a dissociated response or connection to the person they are marrying. There's going to be a wall because they don't want to let that wall down so that the person will not bite them again. You know, so
yes,
yes, sir.
Yes, because at some point I felt maybe I gave in too much to relationship. That's why this is happening. I didn't stand my ground from day one. So ever since when I'm in a like an opposite, I sit up immediately. I don't give that time to mess around and maybe take what I shouldn't take. So at some point I felt a lot of people also blame, you took too much. Didn't stand your ground. Yes, you took too much. So and I think that's one of the reasons I aided that, because I swallowed everything hook, line, and sinker. Is that what you want? Okay, fine. But maybe too much love. I don't know. Maybe of course, if it's not in use, that's so that's not enough. But those things help to do what's happened. I mean, what happened. So I'm not being very careful in my relationship with opposite sex. In business meetings and so on. I stayed firm.
Wow.
It affected me in that moment. I stayed firm. So I think you're right. So again, like one of the sessions, I found out to me say, anywhere we go, I go win you. If you start to the talk, I win you.
Magic.
So that's one try.
Wow.
So and of course, to go anywhere, anywhere we go to, definitely she's gonna win me, because she remembers 1990, 1992. She remembers dates and events I don't even remember again. So by the time you start narrating all of this, whether true or false, and I can't really say if it's true or make an input, of course you believe. One, because it's woman, because she's coming up with details, precise and all the rest. So you seem to believe the person. And it closes the person, it closes your mind to what she's saying. If you look at the two of us, you might say, oh well, yeah, I don't see her doing all of these things. I didn't even mention them, just few here and there. So it didn't come up. Yeah.